Coming up in the show, judiciaries in the Caribbean leveraging cooperation and knowledge sharing, and helping you to maneuver the dissemination of fake news. We also have the top news stories and so much more. I'm Adrian Atkinson. Welcome to Jamaica Magazine.
You're looking so beautiful today, miss.
Thank you.
So I can get you
1-800, keep your eye on the road.
She's spicy, son. Moving on. Perfect. When everybody move them car to the left, me I go just chant it behind the ambulance here.
Excuse me, sir. Stop the foolishness. You really gotta tell the ambulance?
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Thursday, July 25, 2024. A $2.2 billion contract has been signed to construct a modern, fit-for-purpose St. Catherine North Divisional Headquarters of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF. The terms of agreement were signed on Tuesday between the government and West Indies Home Contractors Limited, WACON. The three-story building, which is being constructed under the Ministry of National Security's Project Rebuild, Overhaul and Construct ROC initiative, will span approximately 43,000 square feet. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the undertaking is a significant part of the continued transformation of the JCF, as well as enhancing community safety.
But we expect to spend $19.7 billion in the next 3 years on new stations. Of course, that figure is huge because that 19.7 would include the massive station in Westmoreland, this one, and specialized ops, the C5 Center, which I'll speak about a little bit, all kinds of new exciting things that will, if you think that the police force has transformed now, wait until you see it in the next 3 years.
Mr. Holness points out that capital expenditure for the JCF since 2016 amounts to $14.4 billion. The National Security Minister and head of the JCF both agree that it is a significant investment that will accrue benefits for the Jamaican people.
We have got to a good point where I think it is clear. The government's commitment is clear. We have made commitment in terms of increase the size of the force, equipping them in all areas, and in building out an infrastructure that is suitable for the Jamaica Constabulary Force.
This project and the major thrust in the renovating, overhauling, and constructing of over 160 of our facilities in the last 6 years is a true demonstration of the state's commitment to support the transformation and renewal of the Jamaica Constabulary Force.
Having established the National Security Council to monitor the broad approach to security, the government is now moving to shortly present a National Security Act that looks at the issue from a comprehensive point of view.
So we look at security from customs. We look at security from the anti-corruption perspective. We look at security from cyber. We look at security from telecommunications. We look at security from finance. All elements that could threaten the safety and security of the state.
The Prime Minister asserts that no society can grow and prosper without established law and order, insisting that the JCF is the first and last bulwark in ensuring the rule of law and public order in Jamaica.
Without the JCF, you're looking at chaos. So what we must all do as citizens of Jamaica is invest in the JCF. The men and women of the JCF were not imported. They were not recruited from abroad. They are from your communities. And every day, they put their lives on the line for your safety and security.
Mr. Holness was speaking at Tuesday's contract signing for the construction of the St. Catherine North Police Divisional Headquarters. He used the opportunity to offer deep and sincere condolences to the family and colleagues of Sergeant Kevin Main, who was fatally shot in the line of duty at the Halfway Tree Police Station on July 22. The Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining will be providing fisherfolk with assistance to replace lost fishing gear, particularly fish traps, in the wake of Hurricane Beryl. Portfolio Minister Floyd Green made the announcement during a recent Parliament sitting, where he highlighted the extensive damage inflicted by the hurricane. The ministry has reported financial loss to the agriculture sector at an estimated $4.73 billion, with approximately 11,200 fishers among those severely affected. Minister Green says the Ministry of Finance is being engaged to secure additional financial resources to meet the full needs of the sector.
In addition to these response strategies, consideration of temporary import measures to bridge any supply gaps and maintain food availability, prioritize repair and reconstruction of essential infrastructure on fishing beaches, and we'll speak more towards that. We will have a program for our fishing beaches, and this is something that our Prime Minister has put as a fundamental priority. Not only will we look to fix the beaches that we've mentioned, we will look to build them back better.
Meanwhile, the Rural Agricultural Development Authority, RADA, is urging farming communities to establish protected seedling centers to enhance future recovery efforts. These centers are specific areas identified for the development of seedlings to supply farmers with essential plants to help in recovery after periods of loss. Senior Plant Health and Food Safety Officer with RADA, Francine Webb, made the appeal in a recent interview with JIS News. She says the seedling centers will allow farmers to bounce back from a loss in a short time. In addition to that, Mrs. Webb is encouraging farmers to stagger their planting days to reduce the risk of losing their entire crop to a single weather event. She explains that by staggering planting dates, farmers can extend their harvest and keep it coming in at a reasonable pace, which will help plants bounce back more quickly after a hurricane's impact. The Ministry of Labour and Social Security is partnering with Jamaica National JN Money Services to strengthen support services provided to seasonal workers in Canada. The Ministry's Jamaica Liaison Service, JLS, signed a Memorandum of Understanding with JN on Tuesday, outlining the terms of the agreement. Under the MOU, JN will have temporary occupation and use of the JLS offices in Leamington, British Columbia and Nova Scotia to offer its services to the seasonal workers. Labour and Social Security Minister Pernell Charles Jr. commends JN for being a consistent and strong partner.
It is that collaboration and partnership that is going to inure to the benefit of our farm workers, and we do look forward to furthering and strengthening our collaboration going forward.
General Manager of JN Money Services, Horace Hines, shares that JN teams visit farms weekly to assist workers with remitting funds to Jamaica in addition to other assistance.
Part of our mandate is not just to remit funds, it's how do we help to improve the lives and livelihoods of the farmers. And part of what we are interested in doing is ensuring that there is enough financial literacy among the group so that they are better able to manage their affairs.
And finally, the Ministry of Education and Youth is set to implement a new teacher retention strategy for the upcoming academic year, which begins in September. This is to address the significant number of teacher resignations experienced last year. Acting Chief Education Officer Terry Ann Thomas Gale made the announcement during the ministry's recent Region 6 2024 Back to School conference held in Kingston. She revealed that the ministry was sourcing teachers from multiple countries to meet staffing requirements.
We currently have engaged Nigeria, Ghana, the Philippines, India. So we're looking all over. We're giving you an additional pool from which you can select your teachers from.
This initiative complements existing strategies, one of which is the flexibility for school administrators to employ part-time, retired and pre-trained graduate teachers, as well as final-year student teachers, to mitigate staffing gaps. To identify and recruit teachers who are being engaged from foreign countries, administrators are being encouraged to utilize the ministry's job portal at jobs.moey.gov.jm. And that's it for JIS News today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
travel pilot application was created by the Transport Authority for the protection of the commuting public. Please download the travel pilot application on the Google Play Store or the Apple iOS Store. Once you download the application, put in your phone number, register the application under your phone number, and then you'll be able to verify the license plate that you're going in. Once you verify the license plate and the information of the vehicle, you will then be able to share that trip of the vehicle that you're in. And if there is difficulty on the trip, you will be able to push a panic button and share your location with others as well. Download the application, give us our feedback at customerservice@ta.org.jm. Don't forget, it's free to download, free to use.
Let's explore the role of the judiciary and how we can leverage cooperation and expertise within the region.
It is my distinct honor to welcome all of you, my colleague Chief Justices from around the region, to Kingston, Jamaica at this conference. The objectives of the Conference of Heads of Judiciaries and the Chief Justices is to provide a forum for the promotion of fellowship, understanding, and functional cooperation for the enhancement of the administration of justice within the jurisdiction of each member state and associate state, to contribute to the development of mechanisms for harmonizing judicial approaches to the Caribbean single market and economy, examine judicial problems, whether of a national or regional nature, and to arrive at better solutions for them, encourage, foster, and promote the development of a Caribbean jurisprudence, establish links with similar organizations of heads of judiciaries in other parts of the world. And it is in this context that we're meeting here in Jamaica.
Justice isn't merely a legal or philosophical concept. It's the cornerstone of a functional and thriving society. It ensures that all members can live with dignity, security, and equal opportunity.
Judicial independence is the bedrock upon which the credibility and functionality of the legal system rests. Without independence, the judiciary cannot be expected to render decisions that are fair, just, and free from external influence. This independence is more than merely a privilege of the court. Independence is a legitimate expectation of every citizen, assuring that justice is administered without fear or favor or personal prejudices. An independent judiciary is vital to maintaining public confidence in the justice system.
In today's world, the role of judiciary leaders transcends traditional boundaries. They are not just stewards of justice, but architects of change, navigating through the complexities of a rapidly evolving landscape.
We as modern heads of judiciaries must see ourselves as transforming our judiciaries from instruments of oppression, instruments of colonialism, into institutions where all are respected, rights are respected, rules are enforced, and there is equality of opportunity and access to justice.
The principle of separation of powers underpins the structures of democratic governance. It delineates the distinct roles and responsibilities of the executive, legislature, and judiciary, ensuring that power is not concentrated in any set of hands. Separation is designed to provide checks and balances, preventing abuses of power and safeguarding democratic freedoms. While each branch operates independently, they're definitely not isolated. No institution is immune to the influences of the other. This interdependence necessitates a collaborative approach to governance. In September 2023, the parish courts were officially backlog-free. in alignment with international standards. More surprising, and that's worth clapping. And that's why they were impressed. More surprisingly, this came 2 years ahead of schedule. You are vital in creating a more stable, just, and cohesive society.
Let us resolve our family disputes peacefully. A family is a circle of love, support, and strength. Violence has no place.
The proceeding was brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
With there being so many avenues now for sharing information, it is important to ensure that we are connected to credible sources to avoid consuming and responding to fake news. Let's recap a recent conversation I had with DSP Warren Williams on this trend. Welcome to Get the Facts, the program that gives you update on the latest topics. I'm Adrian Atkinson. From viral hoaxes to political propaganda, fake news is increasingly becoming the order of the day. But how do you identify this and stay in the lane of truth? Well, we are about to delve deep into the dangers and consequences of misinformation, as well as how to identify when news is fake. Joining me now is DSP Warren Williams, Deputy Head of the Communication Forensic and Cyber Crimes Division of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. DSP Williams, welcome to Get the Facts.
Thank you for having me.
This is an issue which the Jamaica Constabulary Force has been very vocal about misinformation and fake news. And given the issue of the digital landscape that we are now in, how has fake news evolved over the years, and what is it that, are we able, more specifically the JCF, able to prevent that from happening?
A very good question. And as we look at the digital landscape, not only in Jamaica, but globally, we realize and recognize that over the years, there has been a significant and exponential growth. So the more the world becomes digitized and the more technologies available and variations in terms of how we communicate, users tend to use these platforms to, promulgate and, of course, send things that are false and fake. And, of course, it can become dangerous and detrimental to the wider public and society.
Yeah. I want to talk us more specifically about the techniques and the methods that people use to just disseminate fake news.
In terms of methodology, they tend to utilize platforms which are free, the social media platforms, the emails, and of course, in terms of techniques, they tend to put you in that sort of fear. And of course, things that, are false in the sense that they're deceptive, for you to think that it is true, then they use methodologies like phishing, sending out phishing email or any information that will, pull information from you, but indeed it is fake, or voice notes, which is phishing, or send you a text message, which is smishing. So those are some of the methodologies that is being employed now. Mm-hmm. And of course, it is something that continues to create some sort of challenges.
Right. When we talk about the impact that fake news really have on the opinion of society and perhaps the safety of people within society, I want you to delve a little bit in terms of any examples that you can use where that fake news has been used to sway how people think and, impact individuals in a negative way.
Well, let me not get into the political side of things,
Yes.
but look at the general society. And in 2015, there has been an incident where someone sent a fake news that there is a bomb on an American airline. The 2 international airports were shut down for 3 days. Billions of dollars was lost. There is the most recent fake news in terms of bomb threats, maybe a month or 2 ago, where it disrupted a lot of operation. It has been sent to public and private schools, even revenue-generating areas such as the wharf. So it can have a very serious implication and disruption, and the resources that has to be employed when these type of fake news come about is quite something that we have to be concerned about.
Yes, something that is your concern about. So
That is
specifically talk about your division's role in combating this very serious issue that is plaguing society.
Right, so the Jamaica Constabulary Force is there to serve, protect, and to reassure the general citizenry, not only of Jamaica, but provide that support, on an international front. So the body is there to investigate. So once it has been reported or has surfaced, investigation kicks in, and then of course we do public awareness and education, to ensure that persons do not become alarmed, or of course, anything that may cause some sort of, panic within the society. Mm-hmm. So the key thing is to investigate and to ensure that we, let the public be aware of what is happening, and of course educate them such that they know that, listen, this is fake, so continue with your life.
It's interesting that you say that. I have to plug this in though, DSP, because how effective is public education with regards to, fake news or misinformation or disinformation?
We have a tagline: the more we educate, the less need to investigate. So it is very effective, because what you don't know won't hurt you. But of course, what you know will make you become more aware or conscious of what is happening out there. So it's quite critical that we partner with different agencies from a government level and also from a private level, and institutions locally and internationally, that we constantly, educate the public as to things that may happen. So it's a sort of proactive rather than being reactive.
And an ongoing process.
Yes.
I mean, during your investigation, you are able to differentiate between what is fake and what is real.
Yes.
Talk to us about that process.
All right. So in the digital realm of things, this is what we call, there's always what we call as a digital footprint. So everything that you do online, you may think you can do it and get away, but there is a footprint. May take sometimes a little longer to investigate, but rest assured that the perpetrators will be found. And that is one of our main strategy in terms of determining if it's fake or not. And more so, we have to find the source. Is the source authentic? Then we verify this by partnering with other agencies to assist us to alleviate that sort of, trying to find out what is happening.
Right.
So the Cybercrime Act of 2015 is there as the tool that can be used by the JCF to apply if someone, and enforce if someone, carry out such an act. And the law, especially Provision 9 of the Cybercrime Act of 2015, which is now being revised, is that if you use your computer, your smartphone is a computer, your tablet is a computer, all of these digital resources are computers. So the law says, Provision 9, if you use your computer for malicious communication, anything that is threatening, anything that is obscene, or anything that is menacing, it's a criminal offense. And of course, the penalties can be significantly severe depending on the level of court that it is tried. If it's a parish court, it can be between $1 million or 10 years in prison, or if it's in the higher court, it can be up to $20 million and 20 years in prison. Of course, we cannot overly emphasize the importance of never trust, always verify.
The following is brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
Jamaica is changing right before our very eyes. Across the island, billions are being invested into our road networks, from farm and community roads to major roads and highways. Dozens of communities across the length and breadth of Jamaica are receiving access to reliable potable water for the very first time. And thousands of Jamaicans have become homeowners thanks to the historic shifts in policies of the National Housing Trust, making it easier for Jamaicans to receive funding. Not to mention the record number of houses being built. Never dreamed you would own a home? No matter your circumstance, home ownership is possible for you thanks to the government's new social housing program, specially designed to meet the needs of poor Jamaicans at no cost to them. We are building Jamaica.
The proceeding was brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
I mostly specialize in lignum party, but as you can see, it's a mixture of the seed and the lignum party. So I'm from the Mighty Gully Youth Project. It's founded by our teacher, Mr. Lancelot Bryan. He died in England a few years back. So what he always do, he always go around and all boys who on the street, homeless boys, and take them and bring them to the shop and teach us. And he always have place, if you're coming from far, you can stay over, and he teach us every little thing, cleanliness, how to cook, and everything. So we grow up in Old Harbour, so it's very close to the Mighty Gully. So from I was a youth, I was always going over there until I get to fall in love with it. And Mr. Bryan taught us how to carve and how to do business. And so what I do is not me alone. I take things that my friends made too. So I got work from my friends, Marlon Francisco and J. Van Johnson. We do the bus and we do tassa, we do abstract pieces, and we also do self-crochet. It's like a dream come true for me, because I always want to own a shop to try to do business different, because every time I do business and I go out there, I never feel satisfied with the business because I feel like I'm being underpaid. Now I'm at the Artisan village. I feel much better and I like the environment. It's clean and nice.
This is where our journey ends, but only for today. Do join us again tomorrow and we'll bring another informative program. In the meantime, stay connected via our website, jis.gov.jm. And while you're online, send your feedback to Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm or via X at JIS News. You may also find us on all the major social media platforms and through our mobile app that's Android and iOS compatible. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.